From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Bout That Life podcast with your host, Coach C. Collins and Coach MJ.
Get it started. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, I'm Coach C. Collins.
Coach MJ, GGT.
And welcome to Bout That Life podcast, where we talk a little bit of basketball, life, and everything in between. Obviously, for those tuning in, we appreciate you as always. Been getting big support. Every episode, we just keep pushing, trying to make it happen. We're on episode 28, right? It's been a good journey so far. Again, for those who are 90% of you guys are probably checking us out on YouTube, but not subscribed. So if you can, hit that subscribe button. One small click for you is a big help for us. It's much appreciated. Definitely on the audio side, we keep growing. So definitely appreciate that. And then quick shout out to our sponsors real quick. Dr. Dish, best shooting machine on the market. You know, check them out. Tell them About That Life sent you, and they'll hook you up with a cool little discount. I know they got a few discounts right now. The home version being the biggest seller right now. Also, if you're looking for good tournaments in the Rockland area, step over to Courtside Basketball or Hardwood Palace. They'll definitely have some good events for you. They have rec leagues, AAU, all those type of things. So please feel free to check them out whenever you get a chance. So with all that being said, let's get into the show and talk to our guests. So we have a good guest. We've had a lot of good guests, but this guest, he definitely has an incredible basketball resume on top of he is truly living on the showcase side of AAU and really understanding how it works inside and out. Working on the administrative side. Lo, you can correct me if I'm wrong on anything because I'm going to read your resume out, but you correct me if I'm wrong on anything. But no, he knows the games, played the game, rub elbows with some NBA legends, some NBA greats, as we're going to get into that more and more. I've personally myself known him for a while, kind of off and on. We just known each other through passing, but never really had too many times where we actually sat down and talked. But it's actually really cool to have him here. His daughter is currently, participating in our club, so we appreciate that as well. Without further ado, let me correct me if I say that. I don't want to say your name wrong, Lo, but Lauren Leath, right? Yep. Lauren Leath. All right.
Yep. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
For you guys, let me give you a quick rundown of who he is. I'm just going to speak about mainly your college stuff, right? Because you're basically a Sac State legend at this point, right? So, and that's when I met you. Lo played at Sac State, right? He's all-time leader in career points, 1,489. You had 526 in a single season, correct? And then made 8 3-pointers in your, I think it was 8 or 9 in your highest scoring.
It was 9. Yeah,
in his highest scoring. So you were inducted in the Sac State Men's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2016. You had 41 points, right, in the school's record, single game record, correct? Wow. They beat out Jamil Pugh, right? Yeah.
My cousin. Shout out to Jamil.
Yeah, I know. I met Jamil a few times back in the day because I think me and him are closer around the same age. I'm a little older than you, but he was bouncy as shit. And man could dunk. And then going off a couple of quotes that you said, said one that I saw on LinkedIn. It said, upon finishing my basketball playing career, I could not see myself stepping away from the game completely. I accepted a role with the Oakland Soldiers, a nonprofit organization to help expose youth to the essential educational athletic disciplines necessary to become a productive student athlete. This all sound pretty accurate, pretty correct. Yeah. All right. I did want to talk to you a little bit about the Sac State stuff, like your high school, your AAU. Wanted you to talk briefly about that history, if you.
Okay. I grew up in Oakland and in L.A. My mom was from Sebrany Park. My dad was from South Central Los Angeles, and I was back and forth my whole life. So I went to 15 different schools growing up.
Wow.
You know? Family on both sides. Mom, whole family is in Oakland. Dad, whole family was in L.A. And like I said, 15 different schools. I graduated from high school in L.A., so after doing 9th grade year in Oakland at Bishop O'Dowd, and I finished in L.A. So, yeah, AAU-wise, I grew up playing in the Soldiers program. My uncle, Mark Olivier, he was running a program. Another brother, Calvin Andrews, started the program. My dad was coaching in the program. So no matter where I was always coming back and playing for the Soldiers. And at that time, we only had three teams, and it was all high school teams.
Right.
You know? Before that, I played for Mr. Payton, the rec centers in Oakland, rec centers in L.A., YMCA's, all that. But mostly at the park, you know, against older dudes, and that's how I kind of sharpened my game.
Yeah.
You know, you had to, certain neighborhoods, you had to fight. It wasn't no moms, no dads. It wasn't no structure. It was like, go out there and play. You got to be tough.
And that's good you bring that up, because we talked about that last episode with Shea Cotton.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking,
man.
we were talking about the street ball culture, how much it's different now than it was back then.
It ain't none.
Yeah,
It ain't no street
true.
ball culture.
And we were laughing about it because the street ball culture now is all a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of it's more show now, right?
And I hate to say it, some of them dudes I'm seeing and the look of them,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They couldn't come to my neighborhood, straight up.
Exactly.
You wasn't even getting on the court. You might get your hands put on you,
right?
You walking, what are you doing over here?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
that's exactly what we brought up. So that's just a kind of a strange thing, but it's hey, times change, things change. It is what it is.
You know, in AAU too, in high school, that's when it got kind of crazy for me. You know, being one of the top middle schoolers, you know, and then high schools, it was like, yo, we want you to come to this high school, that high school. You know, I was fortunate to go to high school for free at the time. You know, at the time I was in Oakland. My home school was Castlemont.
Nice.
On 96 and Sunnyside. And, you know, the coach at Bishop O'Dowd at the time told my mom, like, hey, bring him up here. We'll take care of him. It's, you know, I want to say I would have been, I think it was the third freshman ever to play varsity up there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It was Derek Lambith, Johnny Bryant, and then it would have been myself. So, you know, so it was cool. But then, like I said, AAU was always the Soldiers. I was the home team, but played on A squad, pump and run, Spirit. It was a couple of them.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, my time, the Oakland Rebels was my home team.
Okay,
that was my home team during that time. And then the Soldiers, kind of when I got out of high school, that's when I started really hearing a big buzz about them.
Well, you know, we started in '91.
Really?
Yeah, we started in '91. First team was Chauncey Billups.
Wow.
You know?
Well, I didn't know that.
But what it was is they were the first people to take the team and kind of like go play on the main stage of the state. You know, Eddie House came in. You know, a couple guys. Because what class are you?
01.
01. So yeah, we had Drew Gooden.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so we've been around since you know '91.
Wow.
So.
Well, you guys have definitely evolved.
I think a lot of people. In 2000 is when LeBron came.
Yeah, that's when I heard. Yeah, because I was graduated by then, but I had heard the rumble because, you know, during my time was Leon Poe. That's when he was it. You're right, and I kept hearing it was him, and then LeBron. You know, I was hearing about the Ken Shea. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that was me and Shea are the same class. You know what I mean? So that's when I was hearing about this kid, and I was like, "Who's this LeBron James?" And fast forward, he's pretty big.
Exactly.
What's your overall experience in terms of, well, I always lead with this question for any guest here because obviously we're mainly talking about AAU and trying to reflect on that. You know, your experience with AAU now being on kind of, you know, a coach / administrative side, you know, you have a very unique perspective like myself. What are some of the good, the bad, you know, what is your overall with how you see AAU basketball?
Well, I mean, it's changed, and the shoe companies just really got involved and really took it to a whole nother level, you know, good and bad. The bad thing is also the good thing. You know, they made it a business.
Yes.
And it's giving these kids and these student athletes a business mindset. I mean, once after 6th grade, I mean, it's for real. You know, you got your social media. You can judge off your social media. You know, we didn't have all that growing up. You know what I mean? But, you know, me being in the VP role and seeing the worst thing for me is when I see a lot of, you know, no disrespect to the independent teams or the mom and pop teams, is they'll have a kid and they'll try to keep the kid and hold on to the kid, knowing damn well I can open up way many doors. And if you're really about the kid, then you're supposed to allow that kid to go and do that.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of these guys, they're scared to lose that relationship. And my whole thing is if the relationship was pure and genuine, you're never going to lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Had a lot of kids that, you know, for instance, I had a kid out of San Diego named Boogie Ellis. And he was playing for the
San Diego All-Stars.
yeah, San Diego All-Stars.
I played for San Diego. I'm from San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
So played with San Diego All-Stars, right? I'm in Vegas. This kid, I'm hearing about this kid, he's scoring 30 a game, 40 a game. So I'm like, I'm gonna go watch this kid play. So it was like a Saturday morning at 8 a.m. I walk in the gym, it's literally about 13 people in the gym. The kid had 45.
Wow.
So I go up to him, I said, yeah, you have 45, but the people down the strip ain't even heard of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna do this thing with me, I'm gonna change your whole life. He left, came play for me, he signed with Duke coming out. You know what I mean? When I got him, he got Eastern Washington, no disrespect to Eastern Washington, Eastern Washington, Fullerton, came and did that on the biggest stage in the biggest platform with the right jersey on, and he blew up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of want to, it's crazy just, I mean, shoot, it's called Bout That Life. And it's crazy that you said, because, like, I know Boogie, I know his trainer. And one
Vince?
of the, that's my boy. We grew up together. And it's funny that you said that, because I have a kid, you know, MJ, at San Jose State, you know, and you know, he plays with Rampage. And when I was talking to Vince, that was one of the things he told me, because, you know, about Boogie, where because he played with Coach Marchand with San Diego All-Stars. And Vince, and this coming from a trainer, you know, because I'm a trainer, you know, and I was asking him, you know, like, what does it take? Like, what was the final decision? And Vince was the one who had to tell Boogie, like, bro, this is about your future. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make it to the league? You know what I'm saying? And that was really, you know what I'm saying? Because of course at the end, like, you know, he was with San Diego All-Stars since he was young. But at the end of the day, like you said, you know, if it's really about the kid trying to make it to the next level, of course, as a trainer, you would, you know, of course, he's telling them, like, that's what it takes.
That's what we was doing all this work for.
You know? So that's crazy just to hear that from your side of it, where I'm like,
and it's crazy because it opened up Vince's eyes too, because Vince traveled with us and he got to see us. We're filming our TV show with Uninterrupted. We're playing in front of 250 college coaches. And, you know, I mean, Boogie probably was the highest recruit to come out of San Diego.
Yes, since like Chase Budinger.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't think anybody from Dago ever signed with Duke.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. Even
though he ended up going to Memphis and now USC, but to sign with Duke.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
from San Diego too. Because it's always LA. San Diego's always been trying to chase LA.
But you know what's crazy is I have a San Diego chapter. I got
really?
San Diego Soldiers. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, we're gonna talk about that more.
Okay. I didn't know that.
San Diego has a I'll wait for that.
No, we're gonna talk about all this. So no, that's great perspective. I'm glad you guys mentioned all that, because that's kind of the, you know, that's the stuff me and you understand that and know that, because obviously I deal with it here on the YBA side, not on your stage, but you know, clearly I try to push kids and help them as well.
I mean, no disrespect to YBA, my daughter's playing football.
Well, yeah, but there's tiers to this shit. I think exactly. If I had to put a tier, I think I've mentioned this before, but that's what I've mentioned when I've mentioned the Soldiers, because I have relationships with a lot of those guys, you know, Marshall and Benny and all those. My son goes and trains out there, right? But you know, I say, like, YBA is Sac State, you know, Chico. You guys are Kentucky, Duke. You know what I mean? Like, that's just.
And it's funny that you said that, because it's like, I get a lot of calls about, hell, this kid over here, go check him out, you know, so I can go recruit him to play for us. And I can go, and I heard Calipari say this, I like that kid. I just don't like him for Kentucky, but I like him for like a Western Kentucky.
Right,
I like that kid. I mean, Chris, you should go check him out for YBA.
Yeah.
I just know he can't be on this level.
Right.
And there's no disrespect to that level, because y'all sending people too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
we realistic.
I know what we going up against.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and you have to be realistic, and that's the biggest thing I try to tell parents. And that's part of why I even decided to create this show, because I wanted to create a platform where we could speak freely and really tell parents and people who think they know, like, there really is tiers to this shit.
Levels.
You know what I mean? No, again, I did a show where I talked to analytics. 7% of high school athletes get to play college. Only 7%.
And how many of that 7 is D1?
1.2 or 1. You know what I mean? So I did a whole episode where I put the numbers out there, because I'm like, listen, you know, one quote I always say to the kids, I call it fighting for 7. That's what I call it. Hashtag fighting for 7. I said, you are fighting to be the 7%. Yeah. That's from JUCO all the way up. Yeah. That's just not a lot of wiggle room. You know what I mean? So parents with this misconception of every kid can play D1 or every kid is, they just don't.
They don't even have the dedication.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of, it's, 300 something Division I's.
Yeah.
And, it's just the whole thing that these coaches' jobs are on the line. So they're having the business approach, so they make you have a business approach. I mean, from 6 a.m. study halls and weights and conditioning and class and practice, study hall again, the team meal and film. I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly.
Like, so if you're not ready for that, don't even.
Right. So I mean, I wanted to speak a little bit about, because like I said, I alluded to it earlier. Me and you've known each other a long time in terms of in the hoop culture. You know what I mean? I circle back to when we played in the West Sac League. when we remember that back in the day, so with Carson and those guys and Ashley and all them.
And you know what's crazy about that? And shout out to them dudes. So I met all them dudes at 24 Hour Fitness.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
And they was coming at me like, yo, this league is this league is that. Right? But you got to understand, I played this game and cashed a check playing this game.
Right.
That means you're a professional. You know what I mean? I went there and I forgot who was I laughing about it with. Was Dice on the team? It was somebody. I had 40 in the first game. then I was just like, yo, I'm telling you, this is a difference of motherfuckers that just come and play it for fun and somebody who played it at a high level and the comeback. And I'm not where I was at that high level. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's like riding a bike.
And I remember that game, because that was the first time me and Lo met, or I got a chance, because Carson, I was gone out of town. I was playing in Chicago at that time. And that's when they were telling me about you. They're like, dude, there's this kid named Lo, like, he's a bucket, like, he's nice. I said, okay, cool. Like, because I was in town just trying to get in shape and stay in shape. I said, let's do it. And he dropped 40. I had 29. That we both had that in the same game. I mean, that was my first time playing with him and watching him play. And then that's why I was going to talk to also about Fulton. Like the back in the day, Fulton 24 Hour was like,
it was jumping.
Yeah, man. And we used to have epic battles. I mean, Saturday mornings and stuff. Like, I know I went at Lo a few times. He damn sure went at me, and he kicked my ass a few times.
I felt like this. Me and being a Division I college basketball player, I felt like when you go to these open gyms, you gotta kill. Yeah. But with me, I just step on the floor, I'm gonna kill whoever. I don't give a fuck with my grandmother. Her old ass shouldn't be on the floor.
Right.
That was my mentality. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing was, I felt like when my teammates, Sac State, would go there, if they let anybody in there get the best of them, I'm on their ass, because it's like, bro, they think they can play with, you know what I'm saying? So anytime. So that's why. But I also, too, up there at 24 Hour Fitness, I used to be like, nigga, I'm not just killing y'all. Yeah. Here to go some tickets. Come watch me kill this other cat. Like, I let that confidence scoring back in that. Like, I ain't just giving y'all up to 10 points. I'm giving 30s out too, so y'all can come see all this.
And it was amazing watching him play. I just wanted to bring that up and reminisce.
I kind of want to jump in before
before
we get into the stuff. Like I said, like Chris, and like, I'm new to the whole AAU stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm from San Diego, and I moved out here 3 years ago. I'm more when it comes to the training side. And what I always like to do whenever we have guests, you know what I'm saying, especially who've played, who have that background, is what was, and just listening to your resume, what was the routine? What was, and just listening to your mindset, like, I'm already loving it, because a lot of my kids that I work with listen to this show, is what does it take, right, for you, for what you did at Sac State, and you played overseas afterwards? I did. Right? And then you
France and
okay.
The camp with the Boston Celtics.
Oh wow. Okay. And then, of course, you're around elite athletes, with the Oakland Soldiers. What type of dedication, or for you, what was it that you did through the years from high school to Sac State to overseas, I played 4 years in Southeast Asia, but of course that made me realize, what I'm saying, like, damn, there are levels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, with me, man, I didn't need anybody standing over me, and I never gave myself an excuse. I can remember one time, it was the Soldiers. Matter of fact, I was in the 9th grade, and I was playing up. You know what I mean? And all the guys that was on that team, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Yeah. And I played like 2 minutes. I'm the only freshman over there. Yeah. Me and maybe DeMarcus Nelson. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember so long ago. I only played like a couple minutes. This is my uncle's a coach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My dad the coach. I remember 14 years old going to the house crying as I'm working out. So I ain't y'all tripping up. I'm crying, but I'm working out. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this. And I remember one time I was like in the fifth grade, and I remember it stuck with me when my dad told me. He told me to drop a lot of gems. I'm like, man, the coach tripping, man. I'm better than the dude. He ain't playing me. And he looked me in my eye. And he was like, I ain't never met a coach who didn't want to win. So if you feel like you could help him win, you would be playing over. Yep. So go get better. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, smart, I ain't make no excuses for myself. Yep. So my whole thing is I'm a killer. I don't give a fuck who's on the court. I don't care who it is, how big, how small. Like, I'm going to kill you. Like, and it's just a mentality thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys work out with the trainers and all. We didn't have that back then. Yeah. No, we didn't. My trainers was, we go get a friend, we're going to play one-on-one full court. Yeah. Then we're going to be at the court all day, every day. And when the old dudes come, I'm going to prove I'm supposed to be on here. And you just got to be a killer about it. Yep.
That's nice. Well, like you said, you've done it in Sac, you've done it in the Bay, you've done it in LA, you've seen all different aspects of basketball culture, very similar to my own journey and Mark's journey. Knowing with all that knowledge, the culture, the basketball culture and everything accumulated today, how has that helped you in your role today?
Well, I played the game. So it's like, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me you can't wake up and put that extra work in. Yep. I did it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sitting there asking you to do something I didn't do. And then also, I'll roll it out if you want to. You want to get that? You want to? You know what I'm saying? I got to give a shout out to my point guard. Last time we won a national championship, James Akinjo. James, that Baylor right now.
You know, funny enough, I played against his dad.
Yeah, I played against his dad too. You know what I'm saying?
Back in high school.
Yeah, so I remember we was at Peace Jam and he was talking, and I'm just looking like, what? Now, mind he got MVP of this whole thing. Right. We had to lace him up, so I'm gonna shoot this whole clip to James after this. Look, we had to lace him up. Well, I think it was going to like 5. I'm being like 5'1". Right. I just had to show him like, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't trying to play him right now. He's doing a little horse or something. Exactly. Play horse now, you know. But shout out to James though.
No, that's amazing, man. Well, speaking back on yourself, you know, and this is just me kind of observing from afar and researching and whatnot. You know, you're a busy man. You know, you're a father, VP of the Oakland Soldiers,
all the Soldiers.
All the Soldiers. Then the many branches. We're gonna get into that one next. You know, the TV series you talked about. I'm sure you got other roles and jobs and everything. Yeah. I know I manage a lot, right? Like even when you came in, you saw me coaching my 5th grade team and stuff. Like I know I'm trying to juggle all these hats, and it's a lot. How have you been able to manage it all and kind of keep it all together? What's been the biggest thing to help you out with all that?
The family support system from that, and my kids allowing me to be a big brother, a father figure, an uncle figure to other kids. Yeah, you know what I mean, and them wanting to be a part of it. And wanting to be involved, and just, you know, I just feel like a lot of people. I had a lot of mentors in my life giving back, so it was kind of just time for me to do the same.
Nice. Is there anything new or up and coming you want to share or put out there, or is it business as usual?
Well, we got our TV show. It's on Fox, Elite Youth, with Uninterrupted. We had a 5-year deal with that, so we just filmed season 3. We got 2 more seasons after that. And me personally, I'm going to be on the next season of Real Housewives of Miami.
Hey,
All right,
that's something different.
Well, have fun with that, brother. You got to tell me how that.
We already did our filming with that, so shout out to them and the whole Real Housewives.
Well, congratulations, man.
Dope.
It's not bad for a kid from Oakland. Not bad, brother. So let's talk about the Oakland Soldiers. Let's really break that down. Because I think on this show I really like to just be very candid and real, and no doubt. I want people to speak their truth and have a chance to talk.
We get a bad flag.
You do, and I know that it's bullshit because I'm a hometown kid. I'm an Oakland kid. And like I said, my son's a part of the program. I'm friends with multiple coaches. And I grew up, just out there. I know it. But a lot of people don't, right? This is from the outside looking in. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just address the elephant in the room. There's a bunch of stigma, right? The Oakland Soldiers, the Soldiers.
Number one.
Which one?
We don't get no kids from Oakland?
No, I wasn't even I wasn't going to say that. No. It was more the Soldiers are arrogant. Right, like you guys have this bravado or whatever, which to me, I'm like, well, they're an elite program. Why shouldn't they? I mean, but that's just me because you got to keep in mind this is coming from the perspective of the mom and pops, which are the majority, right? They are the majority. YBA, we maintain our backyard, but we ain't, we ain't expanding like you guys have, or West Coast elite, right? We're not on that level, but we're a tier or two down, so we deal with our own level of bullshit, fuckery, right? There's this misconception that I believe they think you guys have just access to unlimited funds. That people think everybody a part of the Soldiers is a millionaire.
I was I think it was like in Texas. The kid asked me if we rode on our private jet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's this real misconception. They think every person there is making $1 million.
Let me touch on the first thing you said, the arrogance. Yeah. And it's crazy because it goes back to even when I was playing ball in college, and I would hear like, "Oh, y'all basketball players are arrogant." But what happens is it may be one or two people that are real arrogant and have nothing to do with anything, and we all get the bad flag. Yeah. Me, myself, I'm approachable. I'm accessible to any and everybody. And as the role on the Soldiers, there's only one person above me, and that's my uncle, Mark Olivia, as the president, VP. So, I feel I'm not arrogant. If you approach me, I'm going to sit and stop and talk to you. But I think when it comes with success, people kind of have a swagger about them that could be perceived as being arrogant. Yeah. You got the Lakers stuff right here. People probably like, oh, the Lakers are arrogant. Well, no, they just winners, so they kind of carry themselves. So certain things we're not going to do, and it's not like we think we're above that. We just know the formula of success. So a lot of our kids, when we're on the road, they ain't going to go party with y'all, with the other team over there. And they're going to be like, oh, they stuck up. Like, nah, we trying to win the championship.
Right, it's a business trip.
Yeah, we do this.
Yeah.
We party on the last day.
Right.
We don't walk the strip on day one. We call that dead man walking because how your legs going to get on the court and translate.
You're right.
But yeah, man, if you never won anything, you don't know what it takes to win. So therefore, you may look at it in a negative view.
Absolutely. I like that. And then, I said it a couple times, but I want to give shout outs to these guys because, I really respect these guys. But brothers in your organization, Dre for the Sac Soldiers, Marshall, head coach of the EYBL team, Marshall Collins. He's also the head coach at Alameda College.
No.
Where is it?
Contra Costa now.
He's at Contra Costa?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. He's with Coach Johnson?
He was with Alameda last year.
Oh, okay. Well, stand corrected. Congratulations, Marshall. He's at Contra Costa now. And then Benny, he was relational.
He's with Soldier Town.
He trained my son when they were doing the Soldier Town program for the young guns. My son goes there.
Benny's my man. I've been knowing Benny for years.
Yeah, so shout out to him big time.
Did you go to Tech with Marshall? No,
he's older than me.
Okay, yeah.
He's older than me. Funny enough, my mother was his teacher because my mother was a teacher at Oakland Tech. She was principal. She was teacher, dean, then principal at Oakland Tech. Yep. Okay. So he was there when she was still a math teacher.
Okay.
So that's why. That's what I'm saying. Now you see Mark all these ties that we've had over the years. And then another shout out to Brian from the SF Soldiers.
Yeah, BT.
Yeah, he's
BT was nice too.
He was. And he man, hardworking brother. I like him a lot, man. He just works his tail off. He's definitely for the kids.
Yeah, no doubt.
We laugh and joke about it all the time, like, cause he coaches like 10 teams, and he's always like, he's telling me, he's like, Chris, man, you coach more teams than me. I was like, nah, bro, I don't think I coach more than you, man.
Yeah, y'all both be coaching.
So big shout. I just want to give shout outs to those guys because I respect them a lot. As far as, like I said, the stigma with the Soldiers and all that stuff, I'm glad you got a chance to speak to it. Yeah, and then that was the last thing. Yeah, where they talk about you guys don't recruit kids. Well, the money and you don't, the money and on top of the biggest things I hear. And again, this is just me speaking from like when I'm standing in Soldier Town and people are talking around me. This type of fuckery, right? You know, from parents and the outside.
Nike bought our gym.
Exactly.
And,
yeah,
stuff for us.
You guys got all this money. Yeah. It's ghetto. It's and I think Oakland just always deals with that mythos, whatever. And then yeah, like you said, you know, they don't recruit kids from Oakland, you know, all that kind of stuff.
The thing, you know, when I was coming up playing on the Soldiers, you know, like I said, me myself, I was back and forth from LA, so both my homes, LA and Oakland. And then LeBron was from Akron. Everybody else was from Oakland or San Francisco or the Bay. But that talent during that time was probably once in a lifetime. I mean, we had a lot of guys. Everybody went Division I. A lot of NBA guys. You know, it just so happened a lot of the talent kind of spread it out and moved to Sacramento, moved to Fresno.
The cost of living cheaper.
Cost of living. So it's like, so now when we're looking, and then another thing is AAU basketball.
Yeah, it was way different back then.
It's down right now.
It's not what it was.
No, not at all.
What's that?
Sorry, Oakland Athletic League.
Yeah, the Oakland Public School.
Okay. You know, back in the day, so there was 5. Just quick summary because I got to keep in mind people are listening. They might have no clue what we're talking about. So, the OAL back in our time. So this whole. Until I got to SAC, I didn't realize there was this whole multiple division thing. I didn't realize there's like the D1, D2, D5s, D6. In Oakland, there was 5 major high schools, 5 or 6 if I'm correct. 5 or 6. It's Oakland Tech, Skyline, Castlemont, Fremont High, McClymonds. Am I missing?
Oakland
High. Those are the 6 major hitters. They were all D1. So it was like if you didn't make one of those high school teams, you just didn't play. You know what I mean? And the OAL was super competitive. I mean, it was like a badge of honor to not only play in the OAL, but to win an OAL championship. For us, it felt like, at least I can speak on my time, and you know, between 01, 2000, 99. I mean, to win an OAL championship felt like a state championship. Don't get me wrong, winning the state was amazing. I've never done that, but like OAL was like the shit. You know what I mean? So that's what we're kind of alluding to and speaking to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like that, and it's like that in LA too. Like their city championship is big. So I remember when I moved back there finally, and the level of play. I want to touch on that. The level of play was different in LA. You know, on my team we had 14 guys, 7 went D1, 1 went to the NBA. You know, and winning the city championship was bigger than the state for us out there because like we lost to Fairfax by like 8. They came and beat De La Salle by 30 in the state. So that was a state game. Right. You know what I mean? So if you win that city, it's like that. But back on the Soldier tip, we used to, 50-60% of our team came from the OEL, you know. But when it's no high level of talent, and we know now we have to play, because even when I played Soldiers, we were playing at big time in Vegas. You know, we weren't, the EYBL wasn't created. So we weren't playing one night New York team, then the Philly team, then the Florida team. Right. You know, we had to get further down at big time in the Final Four, Elite 8 or whatnot. So we know what we're up against. So it's kind of like I bring in for training camp, I bring in 18 kids for like 10 spots. And I make sure that 4 of those kids are local kids. Now it's up to those 4 kids to come and beat out a Boogie Ellis or beat out or whatever. James Akinjo was from West Oakland. You know, and he beat out who he needed to beat out and made the team and became MVP. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just talk.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
So I want to ask you this, like for me, like, so I train kids right in the middle from the Bay and Sac, Solano, Yolo County, the Davis, the Vacaville, the Dixon, right? And so, of course, the talent that I have were there. It's just maybe 1 or 2 diamonds, you know what I'm saying? So what does it take for a kid to play on the Oakland Soldiers? Like, what is it that you guys are looking for?
You know what it is, man? It's crazy because we get emails and text messages all the time. I get DMs, and it's like the reason why I started all these chapters, San Diego, Sacramento, San Francisco, Stockton, Silicon Valley, Pittsburgh, is because we have people in those areas that are going to recruit that area to make sure they have eyes on every single kid.
So they can funnel them potentially to you.
And then they'll, they're worth it.
Yeah.
So all they got to do is ball. We're going to find you.
Yeah.
It's just like
dominate.
Yeah,
dominate. Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you like this.
Yeah.
No knock on certain programs, but they post when the kid makes all league. Well, all our kids are all league.
Yeah.
They made kids make all area. Well, all our kids are all area. You know what I mean? We have first team all states, all American kids, straight up. And if they're not that, they're going to become that. You know, like Boogie.
Yeah.
Not that, but he became that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll find you.
Yeah.
We'll find you straight up. And we had some guys from that area that you train in too. You know, so all you got to do is ball and we're gonna find you.
Well, the Soldiers brand is growing. You know, every day. Like I said, I feel you guys and West Coast Elite are the programs that are like really pushing out there, branching out there, things like that. So
I think Ryan followed me. Ryan, if you see me, that's my man. I'm cool, Ryan. So
well, Ryan is
I go to Dago, he goes to Dago. He's trying to do his thing. Man.
I wanted to speak briefly. I'm sure you get asked this enough, but still, it's still got to feel really good. 2017, right? You guys won Peach Jam, correct?
Second time,
right? Second time. So, I remember that day, or even more so, because while you guys were winning Peach Jam, I won Bigfoot with my national team. We beat Ray Allen's team in the championship. He had the Ray Allen select team. That was the team. I think I've talked to you about it, Mark, before. But I remember because I saw you guys on ESPN and talked to Marshall and stuff.
Wait,
like that.
we played at Bigfoot afterwards.
Which week? Was it the fourth week or the third week?
It was the week after Peach Jam. So So what happens is they do it.
Yeah.
We played in Peach Jam. Then we fly to Vegas, and then from Vegas we play in CP3. He had the Jordan deal, and then we played Bigfoot.
That's when you guys played on like the black court.
Yeah.
Was
that the same year?
Yeah, it was that same year. Okay. Yes, but I had a 16 you. Obviously, you guys had I wasn't in your guys' bracket. But no, that same year is when I was able to win that. That's kind of what helped me. I want to say get some recognition as a coach, right? Because I was just this random dude from Rockland who came in and beat everybody and beat Ray Allen's team in the championship. But I just really remember you guys, and obviously Kenjo, because it was just, because I played against his dad and kind of was just really excited for that kid growing up in the same area I grew up in. I just wanted you to describe that. I mean, that feeling, that it takes a team. That's the before not because I just want people to understand and hear this. It really does take a team to make this type of stuff happen. They don't know. Sitting down with parents, recruiting the different kids, trying to coach it, trying to the travel. They don't know.
I'll tell you like this: that team, if you would have asked me in the middle of the year, like that team would have went a session going 0-4. One of the sessions going 0-4. Then the following session, we had to win 4 straight games to even qualify for Peach Jam.
Wow.
We win 4 straight games. Then we go into Peach Jam, and it's like the NCAA tournament. You have to be playing your best basketball in July. March for the NCAA tournament, July 1st. And we just are playing, and we had a kid from up here, Mason Forbes.
Oh, yeah,
Went to Folsom High School at Harvard. We just start playing. We start winning. And then it starts to, the staff starts to, look at each other we win this next one. We got a shot. And I remember the game. It was against Cole Anthony, who's in Magic, PSA Cardinals out of New York. And when we were talking, we was like, if we win this game, the matchups for the next 2-3 games, I think we got that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they didn't pick us to win it. And the next game, they were like, the Soldiers, the luck might run out. They don't play it. Damn, we beat them by 18. Then we beat them by 20. And then we were up in the championship game. At one point, we were up 23.
Damn.
Wow. Team takeover in DC, out of DC. And, we had the smallest backcourt. We had James Akinjo, who was 5'10". We had Kihei Clark, who went to Virginia. He was 5'9". Crazy as Kihei Clark. He won the national championship with us.
Yeah.
And the next year, he goes and starts for Virginia, leads the NCAA in minutes.
Wow.
And win a national championship with Virginia. So
sick.
just
That's
roll
dope.
in. But
Wow.
it took everybody, all hands on deck. It was no selfishness. Once again, everybody on that team, that's up till now is 11 straight years, everybody Division I. Division I scholarship on
That's
our top
dope.
team. And that team alone, it was just, they start coaching each other. They start holding each other accountable. And it was just like, on paper, rolling in, we wasn't the best team, but we left the best team.
Nice.
Best team in the country then.
That's got to be an amazing feeling,
Number one
brother.
team in the country, yeah.
That is really cool. I before we talk some more of the NBA stuff and all that, just wanted to talk with, again, like I said, observing you over the years and things like that. You have kind of a really cool, I want to just say overall cool lifestyle in terms of you just happen to know some of the right people and be friends with some of the right people. Like Mark, you know, he's really cool with Nick Young. I remember, aren't you and cousins, right? You guys are like, that's your boy. Like, you know what I mean? You work. I remember you used to work the Jordan camps, right? I know you and Jordan. You know, really cool.
Wow.
They had a great article about him when Kobe passed away.
Wow.
Because I don't know if you know my unique thing that happened with Kobe. I met him hours before he died. I was at the Mamba Academy when he passed away, so I actually met him. I was one of the last people to physically see him alive, right? And that was a whole big thing they did with me. But you really had like a relationship with him and his daughter, and I saw the pictures with you guys like courtside together and things like that.
Wow.
I'm just curious, how has that shaped your, life? You know what I mean? Because most people can't say that. You just can't.
Blessing.
You left out a couple other people. I got to give a shout out to my dog Pip.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I was actually gonna bring that up after I was led you, but I wanted to, because I remember
They brought their kids play for it.
Yeah, they played for you guys because we played when Brandon Cole was coaching our YBA 17U team. I think we were at Merritt College.
No, Pittsburgh.
Was that the
Pittsburgh High School.
Yeah, it was Pittsburgh,
yeah,
and we made it to the chip somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow this YBA team. So we ended up playing their EYBL Soldiers team, and this was the time when Kenyon Martin Jr. and Scottie Pippen Jr. were on his
And
team.
Boogie.
Yeah.
Oh, all three of them? Wow.
Yeah, and so they ended up kicking our ass, but no, I remember seeing them, physically seeing them, and I saw Lowe's, said what's up to him, nodded to him, and it was literally like him, Kenyon Martin, and Pip kind of just hanging out and chilling and talking and stuff.
But
so
you know what's crazy, man, is I'm blessed to be in the room and rub shoulders with a lot of guys that us in our age group looked up to.
Yeah.
I was a big No Limit fan.
Hey.
Master P
Yes, sir.
sons played for me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just a blessing. And then every time, I pick their brain,
Right.
with any and everything.
Yep.
And they're guys just like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just so happen to be legendary in the sport, Hall of Famers in the sport, But man, like I said, it's a blessing. And then when you do right by people's kids, they want to help you and they want to do right by you.
That's nice.
If everything is genuine, then any doors or any way they can help you, they'll help. Every one of the people that you named, and then some. If I needed anything or needed any advice or anything, I could pick up the phone and call them. And I'm blessed to be in that position.
Very
That's
cool.
dope.
That's very cool, brother. I last couple questions. So is there programs out there? And again, I just kind of want you to speak on this because again, the main emphasis is AAU. Are there programs out there that you kind of look at that you really like, respect, and look at like, man, they're doing it right? Like if you had a top,
I respect I respect the Rebels for just being historic in the city of Oakland and how they started off. And it's crazy because they would never think like me will have respect for them.
Right.
I love what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I respect YBA out here. I respect
Appreciate that.
a lot of programs for what they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't respect certain individuals that are doing the things like I said. You know what I mean? But as a whole, in these programs, man, I respect anybody that's helping kids. Straight up in any kind of way. Now, they may need to be coached on a little bit way on how they're doing it, but if you're giving your time to do it, I respect you.
Very cool. Is there any programs you view like like as a rival, like I always speak on this show about like, you know, your rivals help push you and elevate your game. Is there guys, certain programs you're like, man, that's, you know.
Our it's crazy, man, and not to, you know, down anybody else. Our rivals are from out of state, you know. The Mac Irvin Fire out of Chicago, Team Takeover out of D.C., Mocan Elite, you know. Those are kind of like our rivals, and we're not including the Fire, us, Takeover, and Mocan.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us have 2 national championships. We were the first program to have 2.
Wow.
Then Takeover, and then Mocan, and we're the only program west of the Mississippi to ever win it. You know, national championship. So those are our rivals. So we all have this friendly kind of battle and rivalry. Who's going to be the first to 3?
Right.
You know?
It pushes you to want to step your game up, right? Because
and you know what's crazy though, man. And you know, like you said, we played YBA in our tournament. You know, a lot of people don't understand this. So when we play YBA, you know, we had practice, like a full-fledged practice that day, 2 hours before the game. Like we try to emulate the EYBL.
Right.
And we know, like you said, we won by 25. We didn't have that practice. We probably would have won by 50.
Right.
But it was like, no, because we're not going to get a good game out of that. So we're going to make it that way. You know, I remember that 2017 team, right before we went to Peace Jam, we were playing in Jerry Freitas' event. The week before.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to play us. So they called City College to play us. They won the state championship that year.
Wow.
We beat them by 25 and then rolled out. But it was just like, you know, so when guys are say, man, you guys only beat us by like 5 or 4, I don't even tell them and bust their bubble. I'm like, dude, you know, we had a double day of practice. We made them kids practice at 8 in the morning, then 12 to play y'all at 4.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just certain levels. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
But yeah, man, like I said, I respect everybody out here.
Cool. Well, let's move on to some hot takes, right? So, school.
I can't talk bad about. Are we in the NBA side yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not yet. I know you got to be selective on some of the things you say because you know these guys personally. But no, before we get into that, just kind of some I feel needs to just have commentary on because it's going to affect a lot of kids. I don't know if you've been catching some of it, but I have.
NLI stuff.
No, none of that. No, it's with COVID and the vaccine. You know, the schools are mandating kids. I think by the end of this month, I think it's November 30th, to get the 12 vaccine.
And under now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and so I've had parents talking about homeschooling their kids. And, like, they've been asking me, like, are you guys still doing AAU? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've been getting those questions. On you
if you say yay or nay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're in that middle ground.
So I just wonder how.
I respect both decisions. I respect, but I can't close it down.
Right.
Meaning, if I close it down because you feel away, then they're going to feel away for me closing it down. So how about I keep it open and who wants to can, and who doesn't. Right. And I make sure I take every precaution. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah. You got any thoughts on that, Mark?
No.
About the kids with the COVIDs and all that stuff.
It's kind of like what he said, like just respect everybody's decision.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day.
Well, let's talk about the NBA, right?
Let's get it.
I don't know. This season's been really exciting. I don't know. To me, it seems just bringing that up, like the teams seem like they're really battling this year. Nobody's just going through the motions for the ones I'm watching. I should say it
really
is.
early.
Well, it's early, but that's my point. Is most of the time these earliest seasons, it's kind of like they're, again, like I said, they're going through the motions. It doesn't seem like they're really fighting, but right now it feels like guys are really hungry.
You know what it is? They're getting a new wave of energy because fans are back here. Yeah, so that kind of. I agree. It's kind of like playing in your league game on Wednesday and then your league game Friday night. Then it's like, okay, everybody's here, so let's do it like that. But,
exactly.
It's exciting. It's really cool for me to watch kids that I've been knowing since 5th grade.
In the
league.
Now
they're in the league. Yeah. And it's just like, man, like that's crazy. You know?
Makes you feel old, too.
Yeah, exactly.
again, I'm a Warriors fan. always been, even when we suck. So, but I'm loving that we're back and we're revitalized and playing great. Lakers, they figured out
chemistry slowly.
Yeah, they're figuring out how to win.
Figuring it out on defense. I don't know about defense, but offensively, the big three starting to play their games.
Whenever LeBron James, who was a Soldier,
is
on the floor, you cannot count that man.
Of course not.
You don't know what he's going to do.
Of course not. And he's very intelligent, so it's not like the man doesn't know.
Let me ask you about the Westbrook. What do you when they picked him up and moving towards? Because my mind said like, LeBron's a genius. He got something planned. How do you feel from what you've seen so far and everything with Westbrook with the Lakers?
Westbrook is probably one of the best point guards that ever played the game.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
He averaged a triple-double.
4 out of 5 years.
Splash for Westbrook.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
The last point guard to do it went down as one of the greatest, the Big O.
Yeah.
So how come we can't give this man the same respect?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Simple as that. So he plays the game at such a high level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's like a LeBron in a point guard body.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be real, but they're gonna get it together. I feel like
No, there's no doubt. I mean, it's
Still
too much
early.
IQ. But I'll tell you a couple teams I'm really enjoying watching: the Bulls, and the Heat. Like I'm actually enjoying watching them.
Shout
like,
out to the Heat.
Yeah.
Gabe Benson was the Soldier.
nice.
Shout out to the Heat. But yeah, the Bulls. Yeah, everybody closed the door on Lonzo Ball.
I didn't count him out. I just think he needed the right personnel. That's what I personally think. Yeah. I think the Pelicans should have done more to try to keep him there. So that's their mistake. But because I went to college in Chicago, I just kind of know that atmosphere there and the way the fans are there and everything. Like they love their city, man. They're some diehard fans.
They had greatness for a span of 8 years in Chicago. So now they're trying to, look for it back. Derrick Rose kind of gave them a little shot in the arm when he came.
Of course,
absolutely.
and he was a hometown kid,
exactly.
So that helped big time. Yeah. So no, it's I think a couple episodes I said when Lance was here, I talked about Bulls have one of the top starting fives in the NBA. So I was glad my calculations were right on that because they're out there killing. But like we said, it's all early. So
who right now? Who's the best team in New York? Right now.
You said New York?
New York. Who's the best team in New York? There's 2 teams in New York.
Yeah,
right
man,
now.
I know, but sheesh.
Well, you guys.
I'm a fan of neither one, but let's just say
I go with right now this second.
Right now.
I guess Brooklyn.
Not after All-Star break. I'm talking right now. Look, you know what I'm saying?
You think the Knicks better?
It may be the Knicks.
They've been playing some ball.
Yeah,
they
be
have
the Knicks right now.
They playing some great ball.
We'll see
they
how that
beat the Bulls. I
what,
think the Bulls only losses against the Knicks.
They did. Yeah, we'll see how that storyline plays out, right?
Yeah. But the Knicks are rolling over from last year.
They did. They
got a good front office thing going. Shout out to my man Worldwide West. That's my dog. He in that front office. And, in the basketball world, that's a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Heard Jay-Z mention him and Drake mention him.
Wow.
That's my man. Yeah.
What I wanted to talk about Zion Williams and that whole weird situation. The kid
a break.
Yeah, man. It's okay, yes, he got bigger. We get it. But
if you played a sport, basketball, baseball, football, and you're injured, you're going to gain that injury weight.
Yeah.
But you're so young that you'll knock it off in about 4 days.
Exactly.
Anyway, you know what I mean? He can't run
right.
like that. You know what I mean? So, throw him a sweat bag and run for 3 days, you'll be good.
That's what I agree to. I mean, people are making it, they make it seem like he's about to start playing tomorrow, you know, and it's like, nah, they're not going to do that. But I do think the Pelicans organization, they need to
Well, I think that's the question is he going to stay in New Orleans?
I mean, there's a bunch of rumors. There's a bunch of rumors, obviously, that, some family members were saying he's not happy there. They didn't like that they did not keep Lonzo Ball, all that type of stuff. Who knows, honestly, but, we don't know the inner workings.
It's always a lot of background, backdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Fans really don't get the full intel on, we just got to wait and see how it goes.
All right, I did want to talk about the NBA rule change. I'm enjoying it, me personally, because that's just I always played the game physical, so I like it. Played physical, and Nick from B-Ball Breakdown. Shout out to Nick because he's actually going to be a guest one day on the show. Really cool cat. I met him in L.A. And they did a good breakdown of kind of how the rules affecting the game, and they showed different videos of like Trae Young and James Harden, and some were legit fouls that should have been called, but some weren't. It was just muscle memory where he's hooking the arm and, you know, doing all that stuff. I don't know. Me personally, maybe it's just the OG in me. I like that they're getting back to a little more physicality and just letting them play.
I grew up idolizing the NBA when you could hand check. You know, I mean, that's real. I don't think it's a rule change. I think they're slowly trying to get back to where it was, you know, because that's how you can respect. That's why you hear all these older cats that played in the league that say, oh, I average 50 because I'll be shooting 25 free throws is what they call the game. You know, Gary Payton is a defender because he could hand check with his big hands and stuff, you know. So, I mean, I'm tired of watching the softness of the game, you know. That's why I like college a lot more. You know? But the NBA, it was made for entertainment at some point 10, 15 years ago. So that's why they start calling the fouls. Hey, we want to see such and such do his thing. So get your hands off of that, you know. So,
but I think that right now they've hit a sweet spot because I'm seeing more and more commentary on the internet about how people are enjoying this brand of basketball. They are like, man, even like younger, like 20-something-year-olds and stuff. They're like, wow, this is actually really cool to watch. You know what I mean? What about you, Mark?
I feel like it's like a perfect example is Gary Payton II. Like he's been locking up for the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? In the role that he is, and I feel like what's going on with the rules right now, like it's kind of bringing back that perimeter defender mindset, you know. And I feel like because of the rules, like guys like Harden, like you see defenders playing with their hands behind their back because they're scared of the refs. Like what, you know? And to see now where everybody like up in people's grills, like I love that.
You know, the rules help a guy like GP Jr. Because if the rules was 2 years ago, a guy like him wouldn't be in the NBA. And the reason why is because he's so aggressive defensively, he'll get in foul trouble. So then therefore you can't be productive for your team. So every time when they go to the drawing board, it's like, well, GP, you get in foul trouble, you can't even help him.
Right.
You gotta get somebody else. So now with the rule change, he's able to do what he does, and now he can find his niche in the league and keep it going. You know? So it's good for guys like him.
Solo, for you, what's your favorite NBA team? If you have one, I know you got personnel. I know you got people you know,
and that's what it is.
but if you had to pick a team,
where I'm at mentally, now I just like players.
Okay,
I just go for players.
Fair enough.
Growing up,
because you actually know these people, so it is very different.
Growing
for you.
up, everybody was a Chicago Bulls fan
right?
of Jordan, but growing up, I was a Lakers fan. Because of Nick the Quick.
Nice.
Van Axel was my dude, and then I loved Tim Hardaway.
All right, you know, fair enough.
But then as I start playing, I start watching different guys, and I start idolizing guys. Like Ray Allen was one guy I just really could watch shoot all day, every day. You know, and
his work ethic was crazy, man.
Yeah, you know, and just start looking at players, and then when you start playing with them and against them, then you start rooting for them. And now I'm at the point where I watched them grow up.
Yeah,
and now I'm rooting for those guys.
All right, so, fair enough. Very cool. Getting back to high school and all that stuff. So high school tryouts are this past couple of weeks. So shout out to you high school guys, because I know you guys listen to the show. You know, have great tryouts. Be safe. Please, no injuries. Take care of yourselves. You know, we're happy basketball's back for you guys because you get a full season. So I definitely am excited for you guys.
Making them get the vaccine? They're making.
Yeah, they are. So that's why I brought that up too, because there are some. Like even I think currently I just saw it from Steve Williams at Sac State. There's a player that got a religious exemption from doing the vaccine. Tall, dark-skinned kid. But they're still not letting him play on away games or something like that. And so that's what I'm saying. You're going to have a lot of these interesting storylines, and I think it's hitting in the high school too.
Certain colleges won't allow you on campus. Without the vaccine.
Yeah.
So
no, that's true. We're doing that at ARC.
Yeah.
So, and then it was another one. I think even Capital Christian High School, they're trying to get into a different division because, you know, they're a religious school and a lot of them don't want to do the vaccine. So that's what I'm saying. It's all these weird kind of storylines. So, you know, for the kids who did get the vaccine and you're ready to play, good luck and have a great season. You know what I mean?
I mean, for the first time to get to play again, I mean, I'd have been crushed if I couldn't play, basketball, in high school, and you just take that away from somebody. Like, I was cool with not having to go to school.
Right.
But, basketball,
right.
You can't take
And it affected these kids big time. We, the other thing I wanted to say was, and this is more a question for you guys and just your experience, because it was something I was thinking about while I was doing the show and typing up the show. I know I've run across at the high school level, coaching it, training it, things like that, like at actual schools. I run into a lot of kids that do do minimal effort but want maximum reward. That's the best way I could put it. I mean, there's always kids like this, but it just doesn't. It seems so common now. I don't know if, and again, in the AAU world, it doesn't. It's not as common because you just not as restricted in AAU, right? I could full on coach and talk the way I want to talk. It's like, if you don't like it, get the fuck out. Like, it's not a big
at
deal.
Certain high schools is like that. If you have a winning history and pedigree, they're not going to question you.
Right.
You know? If you're that mediocre guy, then it's like, you can't talk to my kids like that. But if you look up and you go in their office and they got all these banners and it's like, okay, well, there it is.
You're doing something right.
I'm just curious, where do you guys think it comes from, though? Do you think it's the social media aspect? Do you think it's just the cultural shift?
It's soft-ass parents. That's where it comes from. Because at the end of the day, you're giving your kid a disjustice and disservice, because it's like, I want them to have this and have that. Don't forget the struggles you went through. Yeah. That made you who you are to raise that kid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's true.
So, it's these soft-ass parents. I mean, back in the day, we didn't get a participation trophy. We didn't get those. You know what I mean?
Shots fired. I wanted them to hear that.
Yeah, you get. Why would you want that?
Yeah.
I participated. I got my jersey. That's good enough.
Yeah.
If I'd have did what I did, I'd have got that trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Mark, you got any
to
thing to
me,
say on that one?
What I've been kind of experiencing, as a trainer, like I have certain kids where they'll train before and after practice. Because this week is tryouts. So you'll have the kids, the parents who don't, whether they don't understand basketball, they don't have the background. And again, we all know you got to have your grades up, right? But you can't expect your kid to be a D1 or dominate in high school if they're only going to team practices.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something I always try to preach, where once season come around, and for me, again, it's not for me, it's not about the money, but okay, the numbers are dropping with the kids that I'm training, but usually the kids that I'm still training are the killers.
Right.
So that's the thing that I feel like parents don't understand, is if a kid has a dream, especially if they have talent, like, yes, we know they have to have a grade, but there is some sacrifice where they might have to be kind of tired if they're not going to really sleep.
Yeah.
They might have to put in that extra work after practice to get those shots up, because at the end of the day, like you said, the 7%, the 1%, you got to put in the work like the 1%. So it's just, to me, like when I hear parents who come up to me, like they expect me, like I'm not a miracle worker. Like it's a process to get a player better, and this is what it takes. And some of them are like, oh yeah, like that's too much work. Well, all right then, like why are you tripping?
As long as they're not taken away from the grades, because like me myself, wound up at Sac State because of grades. When I came out of high school, I graduated with an 8th grade reading level. I committed to Pepperdine as a 10th grader, and then coming out of high school, I couldn't qualify to get the scholarship. Went on my visit, everything. Committed. I was going there, locked and loaded. Then I was going to go to Utah, but my dad was out here with cancer, so he beat it. But I was just like, man, where can I go? And luckily, I knew Deshaun Freeman over here, Alex Ballsy, Jamil Pugh went there. Yeah. And then, they found a scholarship for me.
Nice.
I wasn't supposed to be there, you know what I mean? So they found that. But if I had my grades on point, I would have been, and everywhere, maybe my first choice. So put in the extra work, but don't take away from that. Maybe take away from these video games.
Yeah, that would help. That would help.
But I got a question for you guys, as trainers. At what point do you guys, or if you guys ever be like, you know what, I got this kid to the level that I possibly can get him to. He needs to move on to a different trainer, someone that's a little bit more knowledgeable, someone that really has dealt with where you're trying to go pedigree wise. You know, it's just like, you know, it kind of same thing with the AAU side. It's like, I got you here, Boogie, but I can't take you there. So go there and do it. I'll be here waiting for you. On the training tip, a lot of the trainers, I had this conversation with them. At what point can you say you can make him be that pro if you, one, never made a pro, two, never became a pro, three, just tapped out. But it's okay because then now you become the trainer, as I like to call it, a repetition trainer.
Yeah.
I'm just here to give you some reps.
Yeah.
But to sit down and get you that pro game, you got to get to somebody that kind of did it. So at what point do you guys feel that, or if you guys have ever felt, or you guys probably never even thought about it?
Can I jump into that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I've been asked this
that
question, so
So for me, you know, like I said, like I didn't, you know, I went JUCO. I went the JUCO route. I played in Southeast Asia for about 4 to 5 years. So I understand that I didn't make it to everybody when they grow up. I want to go to the NBA, you know. And as I got older, it became realistic. I understood, but I understand the grind. And the thing that I realized, because I'm a student of the game, when it comes to other trainers, especially with some of my top kids, is I'm a type of trainer where Clint Parks. I don't know if you know Clint Parks. Over the summer, I go to, and then Shine Rashid from here out here at Sac. Because I know that, you know, I've only been doing the training thing for about 3 to 4 years since I stopped playing ball. And I know they've been doing this. I send my players to them. And I learn and I study. I ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I took MJ, you know, he's at San Jose State. We went to LA for like a week to San Diego.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? I work with Vince. I'm hitting up Vince. So tell me, all right, you and Boogie. You know what I'm saying?
You're a trainer with no ego.
Yeah, I study mental performance. I study whatever it is, and I know that every kid ain't gonna make it, but sooner or later you're gonna have that one kid. You know what I'm saying? Who's just locked in.
But you gotta think about, not to cut you off. The guys that you see in the NBA aren't there by accident. Yeah, God did some of this to make them get there. Absolutely, you know what I mean? For sure. But my whole thing. Oh, I'll let you. I know Chris.
You finished? Or
no. Well, I was just saying, like you said, like I understand where I'm at. You know what I'm saying, as a trainer and trying to learn, and I also understand the kids that I have, and so for me, like I have no problem at all because, like you said earlier, if you really about the kid, you know what I'm saying, you gonna let them shine, even if it gets to a point where you gotta let them go, and the family and the kids gonna respect you. Exactly, they're gonna come back because you could have. It's a lot of trainers or AAU guys that held that kid back and really fucked up their future. Yeah. Ego. And made some bad decisions for this kid. It's a lot of them out here.
Or even throwing that out there, because I'll call the shit out because I see it and I'm sure you see it all the time. They want to attach themselves to that kid because they want the residual shine, right? They want to be, I made this, you know what I mean? Like, instead of letting that kid have his shine, you know? So you're right. You're absolutely right. But to answer your question on my end, my perspective when I train, and I tell my kids this, is I'm training you so you don't need me anymore. I train with the intention of I've given you all the tools, what you need, so you can move on yourself. And wherever that leads you is wherever it leads you. Like, I look at it like this, because I got my degree in kinesiology, right? And, you know, they talk about the human anatomy, science, all that stuff. Well, one thing you recognize, and one thing we actually talked about in class, is how does the diet industry stay in business? They need people to not get in shape. You know what I mean? Like, they give you the quick fix, you're going to lose 10 pounds. But if everybody got in shape, you know, Slim Fast, Jenny Craig, they're out of business.
But that's why you see some of them falling out. Jenny Craig, I haven't heard that. It became
yeah.
It was Herbalife. You know
right.
What I mean?
So I want to break that concept where, because a lot of trainers typically do want their kids to only stay with them, only train with them. I try to train my kids and tell them, listen, the things I'm teaching you is the foundation. I want you to evolve and build the house. And then eventually what that should do is lead you to other people who can help you and help you grow. Because, like, shout out to my guy Blair at Lead Athletics. He's really, really good with body mechanics and the science of it, not getting super into it, but a lot of the resistance training and the rehabilitation and the therapies and the cryotherapies and stuff. So I send people to him because I'm knowledgeable of it, but that's not my point of emphasis. My point of emphasis, every trainer I think has their strength, their go-to thing. My point of emphasis, I believe, is the foundation, fundamentals. I'm really good at fundamentals because that's what helped me evolve as a basketball player. And the body, the human body, strength, agility, speed, plyometrics. But I went to school for that. That's what I studied to eventually become. Once it starts getting into a field where I notice my kid can do it on his own, where he's learned the things I've taught him, of course, you come back to me once a week. Every kid has a home base, right, where they feel comfortable. Hey, can I come to you once a week, whatever. But I train with the intent of them not needing me at a certain point. I just feel, unfortunately, in the trainer community, because I wear both hats, that's not the intent of a lot of trainers. And that's the unfortunate side of it. They'll never vocally say it. They're not going to come out on the internet and say, fuck no, I want your money and I don't want you paying nobody else and stay. They're not going to say that. But we know it's there. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like, because I would watch kids, and even though a kid doesn't play for me, doesn't mean I don't watch him. I mean, me running the Soldiers, any kid on the West Coast, especially in California, if they're being recruited by a college, that college is tapping in with them. Straight up. Hey, so what's the deal? Why he ain't playing for you? What's going on? Like, or they're recruiting the kid, but they just know, who's the who of the areas.
Yeah,
of
course.
What I'm saying? And that's Duke all the way down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but when I'll see a kid that I know is training with a trainer nonstop, 2 times a day, and he go in the game, he's averaging about 12 points. And I'm just kind of like, and I'll tell their parents, even if they're not playing with me, you got to switch trainers. Oh, well, that trainer's good. He's doing this. He's not teaching him the mental aspect of the game and the approach of the game. So that means we're working on everything, but you're not telling me how to approach the game on game day. You're not teaching me a routine. But then also that goes into being a pro, and that goes to how you being successful in college. College is a grind. In Division I level, it's a grind. You got to travel. You got to go to school. You got to do this. What is your mental approach to the game? We used to warm up, and then you'll go back to the locker room, then come back out and all that. I remember I used to warm up and go and sit down and just kind of like meditate and stretch and really play the game in my mind before it even happened. I played against this school. I know how they play me. They're going to probably throw this extra double team at me. I know such and such is going to be open. He's going to pop up. I'm thinking the game. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just the approach a lot of trainers aren't teaching these kids, because I hate to say it, they don't know it. Right. Because they didn't. That's what goes back to how can you as a trainer show me how to go against a double team when you wasn't good enough to get double team? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So it's like I said, in college, I led the conference scoring 2 years in a row. I had to get my money, and it had to be a different way every game. You know what I mean? So I'm not no big man coach. So I only could show this big man how to do certain things. But then now, hey, big man coach, come in here and show him the approach. He can come and tell him, hey, you can't get fresh air. You're going to get clobbered on the back. You can't. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't get clobbered on the back. But you know what I'm saying? But I've got those other things. I got the elbows and the hit. You know what I mean? But, I was just, the mental approach is just real big. Well, that's kids don't have it.
Well, that's why I wanted that. Actually, you speaking of that, the point of emphasis, I know why he would appreciate that. That's something he's actually big on. He's very big on the mental component, even more so than the physical.
I be getting my kids books.
Yeah, he's more on the mental side than the physical side. That's actually one thing I think he specializes in that I don't see most trainers do. I think you can go on any damn trainer's Instagram, you'll see a million cone drills, and a million dribbling drills, and things like that.
I tell folks, cones don't move.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
I always tell my kids, I say, man, cones ain't got no arms and legs and shit. I tell them, a big point of emphasis I say with my kids when I train them is imagination. Imagination is a huge component. Like you just said, you're visually seeing the game. You're using your imagination. You're tapping into that cortex of your mind and using forethought and hindsight, right? I say, when you guys approach training, you don't just do what I'm saying to do. Understand, I need you to see certain things.
I like kids that attack the drill though.
Yeah.
That's really coming at the drill.
Yeah.
You know what
Exhausted,
I mean?
sweating, not going through the motions.
Exactly. But my mental approach was so deep that I was superstitious with a lot of things. Like, if I don't hit the last shot at shoot around, I'm not gonna have a good game. So I'm gonna hit that last shot. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta have a mismatched shot. Or I remember one time I was like in the 8th grade, I used to have a dime in my shoe. That was my routine. I had a dime in my shoe.
Hey, routine's a big thing,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? Or I had to listen to a certain song, or it was just whatever your routine was.
Right.
You had to do it, and you got to stick with it. And that's why you see a lot of kids missing free throws. They go off of their routine. Whatever your routine is, man, you got to do it.
To me, it just sounds like, and I love this word. I mean, Kobe, rest in peace. Like for me, just listening to you, like you were obsessive. I feel like if you don't have a kid like that, it's only going to take you so far. Because there's a lot of kids who just play basketball just to play basketball. And so like my favorite phrase that I always tell all my players is act like a pro, think like a pro, look like a pro. Even though y'all ain't pros yet, act the part. You know what I'm saying? Because as you continue to put in the work, and like you said, the mindset, by the time you 18, 19, if you're doing everything right, now you're separating yourself from everybody.
I used to, like I tell my kids when I played, I used to talk myself into stuff. Like during the game. Like I know, like at the tip, if you guard me, hey, I'm about to kill her. Straight up. And then they be like
what'd you say?
I'm gonna kill her. And like I'm already in your mind.
Right.
And I'm talking to myself like, number one, I know he ain't from where I'm from.
Right.
He ain't come up where I came.
Right.
He ain't work as hard. I'm psyching myself up so much that it became I'm attacking you. Yeah. And you're looking at it like, well, I came to play a game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fight. I'm attacking you. You know what I mean? It wasn't about being
the right way to be, brother.
Dirty player. Nothing. It was like, I'm just a killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, as soon as I step on the floor, like I tell my kids, just be mad. Be mad that somebody's there trying to stop me. I remember another thing, like I asked my dad, like when he used to coach me all the time, I'm like, yo, who we playing? I remember he said, you playing the basket, everybody else trying to stop you from getting it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And so it's certain little things that he was creating a dog in himself. It ain't no different than how I do with my daughter, man. Just,
I love that.
I'm in her mind, you know what I mean? Because it's at one point your body gonna be tired, you're gonna be physically drained, you're gonna have nicks and neck injuries. But if your mind is strong and you can tell yourself you're gonna run through this, none of that other shit matter.
You're right.
Well, I got some sound bites.
Well,
Man,
we definitely got some good stuff. Yeah. So last question before we get out of here. And this is a question towards the parents, because obviously they are
we love the parent.
Yeah, they are the engine that makes this AAU and trainer world and everything go, right? You guys are definitely the ones that truly are for it, and I want to say that's the majority of parents. I do think the crazy minorities are the minorities. The crazy dad that has no clue what he's talking about, or the mom that
it's easy to coach from the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. I still feel overall they're the minority. I feel most parents come into this AAU world, in the training world, wanting the best for their child, because everybody wants the best for their child, no doubt about that. However, I do want to address this point. There seems to be a trend, and again, I spoke about it on a Coach's Rise Time episode. I'm trying to say this correctly. And it could be right.
We're all messing it up.
Right. And it could be the social economical circumstance. There's always variables. However, I just feel, because I think we talked about it with Lance too, and I wanted to say the same question to you because your perspective. I feel sometimes parents approach the game of basketball and they approach us cheaper than some of our other athletic sports. Like if you go to, you have a daughter, volleyball. Have you ever gone to women?
No, they pay.
Yeah.
They pay a lot.
Synergy up here.
You know what it is I don't even want to use that analogy of the dope game. Right. It's when, and everybody's undercutting everybody for prices. I don't care what this trainer's doing. He's $20 an hour. I'm going to just go over there. He could be making my daughter do whatever. Right. That's how people are thinking. And they're not thinking, okay, if their costs a little bit more, they're probably a little bit better.
Right.
You know what I mean? But my whole thing is invest in your kids in the early stages, so in the long run you don't have to. I have no student loans.
Yeah.
Never had it. Never had to take nothing out because I got a scholarship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My parents invested in me their time, their energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I say, man. So if you really think about it, if it's a real legit trainer, you can invest that little money. That's more than, that's less than $30,000 a year for college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
The way the trend is now, it's going higher.
Yeah. And it's a cultural demographic thing.
Yeah. I mean, and again, we understand there are certain kids in tough circumstances. We try to help all we can, right? But I just feel overall, and this is just my lived experience being in Rockland, being at YBA, things like that.
You shouldn't have no problem, right?
Yeah, so, you would think so. You would think how you've been around enough rich people. How do the rich stay rich? Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But the thing about rich people, 9 times out of 10, they're successful people.
Yeah,
successful people love results.
Yes.
So if you're giving them results, and little Tommy and Timmy they couldn't chew gum and walk at the same time.
That's why we have
now
a business.
They made the team.
But that's why you have this facility. Yeah. That's why, because Ken G, shout out to him, founder of YBA, he has built an incredible machine here that I've been lucky enough to be a part of.
Yeah, I watched how he coached those girls, and my daughter being 11 years old, and I was like, I want her to play for him.
Nice.
You know? And it's crazy to the irony in watching my daughter put on a YBA jersey or anything that's not Soldiers,
right?
Whatever it is, and it's just, she asked me, like, you want a T-shirt? I'm like, nah. I'm here to,
that's Ken, man. That's Ken.
That's
funny.
But that's the thing is, like, parents, this is more or less just what we're saying to you from our perspective. Invest in your kid. It's worth the money if you're in the right situation, right program. Now, do you have to do a level of thinking and discernment to know what's legit and what's not? Best way I can give it to you is like this. You got Burger King right here on one end. You got McDonald's on the other end. And then you got a restaurant you've never fucking been to. Maybe go with Burger King or McDonald's because at least you know what you're getting instead of.
Yeah, I say this, man, with all this Google and all this, you can just search who you taking your kids to.
True.
My whole thing with parents, though, is I don't care. A kid could be locked in, and this could be the best kid you ever trained. If the parent makes a fucked up decision, that kid is fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
So the parents, my whole job in my organization is give the parents the right information. Like, we get a lot of stigma, like we would choose a college for a kid. I don't choose a college for a kid. I give the parents the information, then they make the decision. You know what I mean? But it's just they got to have the information, the right information. You know.
Well, with all that being said, Lo, thank you for coming in, man. This was a great show. You gave a lot of great insight that I'm glad. Yeah,
gems dropped today.
I'm glad me and you got a chance to sit down and rap and just talk like this. Like I said, I've known you a while. We just been ships passing, you know what I mean? But always mad respect for you, brother, and what you're doing. Let me give quick shout outs. Shout out to the Patreon. Got a couple new members today. Thank you guys for signing up. Thank you for, supporting the show. It really helps a lot. Helps pay my cameraman, helps production costs, everything. I want to keep trying to pump in good guests for you guys. Still hoping to get Bobby Jackson in when he can finally actually be here.
I was just with him yesterday.
You see, that's what I'm saying. He knows. We talked about him doing this show.
Remember Lance was with him?
Yeah,
right?
Lance was with him. He's just
Lance, comedian Lance.
Yeah, Lance did the show. Yeah, man, it's just all over the place. But no, thanks again, man. I really thank you for taking the time to do this and maneuver your schedule and whatnot, man. Links for Lo will be in the description. I have his social media links. I suggest you follow him. Watch his show. I guess now you're on Real House. So congratulations with that as well. Mark, you got anything?
No, man. It was great meeting you, man. A lot of knowledge. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, last shout out to West Coast Legends. If you're looking for jerseys, sublimation, any type of uniforms or anything, give them a look, give them a holler, let them know About That Life sent you. Everybody be safe out there. Again, appreciate you hit the subscribe or like. If not, no big deal. Oh, go ahead.
December 18th in Sacramento, we're doing a tournament for 8U to 14U, and we're going to have the Made Hoop Circuit staff in the building, the scout team. So December 18th, look at the it's going to be in the Sacramento area. Yeah, it's going to be in the Sacramento area. So
very
Made
cool.
Hoops will be in the building. So if you guys, that's a big circuit for these young kids if they want to go in there and get seen. And hey, go play in that tournament.
Absolutely. Other than that, everybody be safe. Like I said, have links for Low and follow this man's journey. He's a good dude. He's working hard for these kids. Just everybody be safe out there. Enjoy your life, man. Have a good day, and we are out.